Hello and welcome to PocketGamer.bz's YouTube channel. I'm Jon Jordan and this is our first time user experience playlist, so let's fire up a game. So the game we're looking at today is Monster Sweeperz. Already it wants to know if I want push notifications. I don't know if you like your game. I don't know if I like the game yet. I think it's a bit rude to do this early on. I think there's better ways of integrating it, but let's say yes. Okay, this is a difficult kind of first time user experience, isn't it? One that's asked me if I want push notifications first thing, then it says a massive download. So the reason it does this is a Korean game. So in Korea you have very fast Wi-Fi, or very fast mobile networks as well, data networks. So this is kind of quite standard in Korea. Obviously the problem comes in places where people don't have such good Wi-Fi or data, or which is not so much in Europe and North America, but other parts of the world obviously. Can be an issue. And just the other thing is as well, I've downloaded this game, I want to play it, and what's happening, I'm just kind of, it's going quite fast, but this is downloading one of 8 things, so presumably it's going to extract it and it's going to get, so this whole thing is just, I just want to play this game, and what's happening is it's just a really bad experience where I'm just having to fill time and talk to you, and it's just, technically I can't see why this is the case, that you can't download a bit of the game, get someone through the tutorial. Really, you don't need all the content for the game kind of straight off, and this kind of kind of download thing is just very kind of characteristic of Korean and Japanese games, but I kind of think in the West it just doesn't play well to a kind of more mass market audience, really. In Korea and Japan, there are some pretty heavy-duty core RPG audiences, and if this is the next big hot thing, that's fine, they'll wait for it. But in the West, I think you have to be a bit more aware of the audience. And see, I mean, this whole thing is, we're still downloading the second bit. It doesn't say the first bit is the biggest bit or the eighth packet is the biggest packet. So I have no idea how long I'm waiting. We're already up to like 2.5 minutes, and I'm apparently only a quarter of the way through this download. So, anyone know any jokes? So this one's going faster, at least. And I do think this is why this stuff like this first time user experience stuff is super important, and particularly for this type of game where the ARPU, the revenue you can generate per player is very high. So developers are potentially spending a lot of money, to get someone to download the game. You might be spending, $5 to $10 really in some markets to get someone to download this game, and then the first thing you give them is just like, just wait around, At least we're seeing a lot of the characters, aren't we? Kind of nice art style. So who's the developer? So the developer is say a Korean company called 433. It's actually like a time thing, so 33 minutes past 4. They're a fairly new studio. They got funded with a lot of money, big funding round from Line, which is the kind of Japanese Korean mobile kind of messaging social kind of platform, and also Tencent, which is obviously the behemoth of Chinese game industry both on PC and mobile. So with its various platforms, and it's kind of also social network stuff. So it has QQ and WeChat as kind of mobile messaging platforms in China, which are absolutely massive. So a big chunk of money was invested in it, and this is what we get. I'm running out of things to say about about filling space. So the reason I'm waiting is I am quite interested in playing this game. One, because I've not played anything from 433 before. It's always interesting to play Korean games because they're slightly in between. They're not often quite as kind of insular maybe as the Japanese games, so a bit more Western influence. Can be a bit more grindy, I find, in terms of how they want players to play. But Korean games, like Japanese games, very interesting to look at how they integrate the meta game, and how they kind of get people to kind of auto the gameplay as much as possible. Really, they're very focused on what you do around the game, building up your characters. Obviously, we can see this is an RPG. We're almost there. How are we doing for time? So 5 minutes. So I think I'll just play this for 10 minutes and see how far we get in that 10 minutes, which is kind of a little bit mean, isn't it? But I just kind of think this is really unacceptable. I think it's acceptable to download some stuff, and obviously, just depending on how fast your connection is, that's going to give you an idea about how. Oh, here we go. How long it takes. But so with 5.5 minutes. Who's Salabol? I don't know who Salabol Creative are. Maybe the co-development thing. Maybe 433 is the publisher. That'd be ironic, wouldn't it? Okay, probably that is the case. So let's tap to start. Okay, we're going to wait again for something else to happen. Okay, into the game. So here we go. Skip. Yeah, don't care about that. Skip video. Yes. Saintly Neely. Oh, damn. There she is. She's pious now. So there we go. Put an end to this nasty demon. To Siegfried. Is he on our side? Tap the screen to move. Okay, so we're going to move. Oh, I see. So yeah. So like a shoot 'em up. Which is interesting because we've just been playing or Raid HQ from the UK has just come out. All parts functional, attacks you automatically, just focus on moving. So again, it's kind of interesting that developers are thinking about these things in the same kind of way. I don't know if this game has probably been out in Korea before. I don't know whether the Raid guys would have seen it, but and it's kind of interesting that shoot 'em ups, obviously for arcades, have been well used, but not particularly on mobile. I mean, they've been the paid. A lot of kind of shoot 'em ups for paid games, but not a lot of free to play. Which is interesting when you kind of think about the mechanic, because it is, there are too many of them. We've got a smart bomb, attack skilled, lots of powerful attack. Yeah, that's what we want. Well, what, yeah, okay. Well, where is it? Where is it? What am I tapping on? Let's clean out. What? I don't know what's going on now. Where is? I don't know where my. We wiped them out. Okay, well done us. Nope. Back we come. As I said, this is my snowstorm here. Oh goodness. Oh no. Now it's my turn. Go on, Siegfried. Use crowd control skill to herd and eliminate. That's not bad. So, okay, so what's Siegfried? Boss. He looks mean, doesn't he? So I can use her skill. Let's clean out this place. That's just used kind of lightning. So it's more for not something for bosses. Black hole. Goodness, he's quite a lot of health, isn't he? Let's take a long time. So you dodge this. Well, not really, I can dodge anything. Oh, I'm going to dodge that. I'm going to dodge that now. Going for Hellfire, he's going to give it. Ooh! Bring it on, bring it on. There we go. Might do. Ooh. Am I dead? Yeah. So this is kind of interesting in some Asian RPGs where you play the tutorial when you die. Rose, she's hunting. Okay, username. Let's do that. Done. Check availability. Okay. Available. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Lots of okaying. Create characters. There we go. So here we get into the main game menu now. Water cap, tap the adventure button. How are we doing for time? 8 minutes 40. Look at the world map, pick a place to explore. For now, let's start with Fios Island. Such as you can see the various stages, sectors, and so we start with the first stage now. Okay, so spent a bit of cash doing that, and it's crashed. Okay, so that was the first user experience for Monster Sweep. Not entirely as I would have liked. Game's kind of interesting though. I mean, it was worth the wait. I think getting in there. I think it's interesting. This shoot 'em up mechanic. A few games come out like that. I think, yeah, that could work well. But yeah, in terms of the first user experience, this is kind of like a fail for Monster Sweep. It's just all that download, and then I mean, obviously, games can crash. I don't know why it would crash. Yeah, but technically, your games have to be smooth, basically. And I think, you look at Supercell, all their games launch certainly within 30 seconds. Most of them within 10 seconds. Obviously, it's a different type. This is a different type of game, but there's no reason I don't think games should take more than 30 seconds to launch. Even heavy server-based games. So anyway, thanks for watching. That's our first time user experience with Monster Sweep. Don't forget to subscribe, and we do a lot of this analysis of free-to-play mobile games. often playing the tutorial stuff, and then often and then if you play a game for longer, if you're playing it for a few weeks, we go in and do a bit more on the monetization. So if you subscribe, you won't miss any of that at all. Thanks for watching.